This was the capitulation moment for XRP right here. This is where XRP found its actual bottom at the very top of this retrace. We have just completed the top of this retrace and we just saw capitulation in the cryptocurrency market. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Blockchain Backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. And wow, have we had a wild 4 or 5 days. And geez, I leave to go on a camping trip Wednesday morning, and sure enough, the 2 days I'm gone, we get the biggest price action we've seen in cryptocurrency uh, in years, I guess, if ever. I mean, it was absolutely ludicrous. So I was on my camping trip and I missed all of the gut wrenching feelings that you feel when you go through capitulation. And I have been through capitulation before. Certainly, it is a terrible feeling, absolutely horrible. And somehow it was like God was looking out for me, and I got to avoid all of those feelings because I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, why am I not feeling the way you should be feeling after capitulation? And it was because I wasn't staring at the charts while it happened. I was on a walk with my daughter while we were out camping. We went on this like 3 mile hike. We went to a lake and a river, and we were going over bridges, over streams, and all that stuff. And when we finally got out of the woods after this 3 mile hike, I take a look at my phone and I look at trading view and I see that XRP is 13.4 cents. I'm just like, what? What? I called my wife and I had to walk my wife through how to buy crypto on Coinbase because she's never done it before. You know, my 2FA and all that stuff was here at the house and it's on a different device and all that good stuff. But man, we had a ton of price action. We're going to dive into it right now. And I do know, I am very well aware that right now is a tough time for a lot of people and it's hard to hold on to hope right now. I get it. And we're going to get a little bit more serious now in this video. And I'm going to start going through each of these charts. And we're going to talk about the XRP price chart. We're going to talk about the Bitcoin price chart. And we're going to take a look at this altcoin market cap chart. And we're going to try to find some type of optimism in here, at least for XRP and for the altcoins. As for Bitcoin, it doesn't look that good, but there's a very strong case for the altcoins. So let's kind of start slowing it down. Let's break it down. Let's go through all of it. And I advise you watch to the very end because I'm going to have 3 different things where we're going to really kind of build a case that things are okay. We just have to weather this storm for a minute. First things first, as for the altcoin market cap chart, we can see that the altcoin market cap chart has double bottomed. So we did not break into a new low for the altcoins. It came back and tested the bottom a second time. So as of this time right now, we have not broken the support level. We are still on the support level for the altcoin market cap. As for Bitcoin, what an insane thing to happen at such a high velocity. I believe this is a 1-day candle where it lost 40% in 1 day, and it has now closed off that gap right there. So I've stared at this gap a lot. However, just never seemed like that gap was ever going to need to be tested. But there you go. This was a gap that has now been completely filled. But that also leads me to see, hey, there's a gap right there. So is Bitcoin necessarily done? I doubt it. I would think that Bitcoin still has further down to go. Now, when we zoom out on Bitcoin, if you've watched my channel at all, we talk about how, markets will do you'll have a bubble pop, a retrace, and then it'll come back to the bottom, and then it can start a cycle. Of course, there is the alternative that it doesn't start a new cycle and it goes down further. We'll address that in a minute, but first let's look at it like this. So in this circumstance, we have a bubble, pop, retrace, comes all the way back down to the lows, and then it goes. And usually the way this type of structure will look is that it will actually do this type of move right here. It will make one more bear flag, and then the bear flag on the third attempt will reach up and touch this bottom right here. And after it touches this bottom right here, it will break down and then settle down here. And as you can see, when we put it on just looking at a time frame right here, you're looking at a lot of time for Bitcoin. We're looking at way over a year before we get to no volatility at all, and then it finally can start a new cycle and start going. So as for Bitcoin, it doesn't look that great. Now, Bitcoin can throw some really crazy curveballs, and this could be the ultimate shakeout. I'm not going to gamble that it is the ultimate shakeout. I am still going to hold the Bitcoin that I do own, and I'm not going to trade it. I'm just not trading down here during this cycle. The only time I will be selling any of my cryptocurrency is once we are in a new bullish cycle. As for volatility in here, I'm holding through it all. But we've done this in the past, and we've shown that Bitcoin has followed to here, and you could see that there was one big shakeout. You could see how we've topped out at the same level as here, and when we had fallen to the bottom, retraced, look at this huge wick that came down. And then it just went on its bull run. Is that possible here? Of course it is. However, if we have to be realistic about it all, we can't just sit here and say, yeah, it's definitely just a fake out and it's going to go on a moonshot right now. We have to kind of look at it of more of a structured view. What is the next thing that's likely to happen for Bitcoin? And the next thing likely to happen, in my opinion, is going to be something along these lines, and then it just reduces volatility and maintains the support. Now, if that support didn't hold, good luck figuring out where the bottom is. The bottom could be anywhere way down here. I just couldn't even pinpoint where that place would be. Would the previous high stop it? I don't know, but I think it's way too early to start calling for really, really low prices like $1,000. You would need to see that this level would break first. Then you would have various support levels down low, and it'd be difficult to figure out which one it's going to be that's going to hold it. But as of right now, it's just a normal. Fortunately, it's just a normal retrace. So we have a bubble, pop, retrace, come back down, and then market cycle. So on that note, let's go look at the Bitcoin dominance chart. The last time we looked at the Bitcoin dominance chart on this channel, we talked about how that it would likely come up and that it would touch this level right here. So this is where the dominance was, right here. And we said that it would likely come up and touch this level right here. Obviously, which would be about 65.7. Obviously, we exceeded that and went up to 66.54, but did get a very strong rejection. So as for the Bitcoin dominance, it still looks exactly like we've talked about, and that the target is still 15% for the Bitcoin dominance. So while Bitcoin may be doing some type of action like this, Bitcoin would be losing a massive amount of its dominance down to 15%. So as we could see, there's a parallel channel residing right here. And that Bitcoin dominance did do a 70.2% retracement from the 2017 bull run. And I'm still forecasting that the Bitcoin dominance will fall all the way down to 15% by October. This breakdown that has occurred here on Bitcoin does not leave much optimism that Bitcoin is starting any type of huge bull run right now. Now we head over to XRP and we look at this chart and we say, well, what about XRP? Does this also mean that there's no chance for XRP to start any type of bull run right now either? Well, not necessarily. Now, from all the things that we've talked about, this chart has just broken down. And I've gone through this looking for where's the light at the end of the tunnel? Where is the one thing we can hold on to and say, okay, well, there's something positive we can hold on to right there. And that all comes back to when we look at the XRP Market Cap Chart. On the XRP Market Cap Chart, I see two growth cycles. And let me show you the two of them. You have one right here, and you have one right here. And let me show you the Elliott wave structure on these two cycles. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, when we come back to this correction formation, this is the last big bear market for XRP. This is when XRP topped in 2014 and went into a consolidation bear market for the next 3 years. I want to show you where the bottom was for XRP. And that would be right here at the base of wave 4. You can see, I'm going to move this over just a little bit. And we will highlight the base of wave 4 right there. And you can see that it did hold the level of the base of wave 4 on this Elliott wave structure. And then when we look over here, we could see that we have the same type of structure, and you could see even how it flattens out like we did here from wave 3 to wave 4 in a consolidation, and then we have the final blast off, and that was the end of the market cycle. Right now on the XRP market cap chart, XRP's price is down here at the base of wave 4. So when looking back into the past, that's really the thing that we have to hold on to right now. XRP does have a small amount of room that it could go to the downside without completely breaking wave 4 or taking out the bottom of wave 4. However, we really want to see that this level is going to hold just from a technical perspective. If that level got taken out, there is no real technical levels that we can see where we can pinpoint where a bottom would be. Now, there's one thing I do know from being in the XRP market as long as I have, so it's been, 3 years now, is that sometimes you get dealt maximum pain before the gain. You get dealt a death blow that feels like there's no hope and no coming back from it. Do I feel like we're experiencing that type of capitulation right now? And yes, I absolutely do. There's something else to hold on to that is optimistic. In my previous videos, we've been talking about how the DXY, or the US dollar currency index, was going to do a retrace, right? We said once that retrace is done and we turn over and roll over and confirm that the US dollar is going to be rolling over, that's when we have seen that the cryptocurrency bull run begins. Well, let's take a look at this, because I pulled this up, I put the timing together, and we could see that the capitulation of this market occurred as the DXY was making its retrace. And the DXY as a retrace got rejected at the 0.786 Fibonacci level. That should be our top for this retrace. Not only that, we were just told yesterday that the Federal Reserve is cutting the federal funds rate to 0. They're also implementing more quantitative easing. They're also putting no limits on the amount of money that banks need to have on reserve in order to dish out loans. So banks are given unlimited freedom to print money now. Private banks. The capitulation of this market occurred as the DXY was retracing that initial fall. I know on this screen it makes it look like that was only 1 day ago. However, this market is closed on the weekend, so it's missing 2 days of data. So this was 4 days ago. So now I'm going to wrap up and summarize the things that we just talked about, and then I'm going to get started on another video to cover a different topic, more of just kind of a broader what is going on in the world and with markets. But there were 3 things that were optimistic that we could look at for an XRP standpoint. 1, the DXY has appeared to have completed its retrace. We got capitulation of this market while the DXY was doing the retrace after creating a lower low. The DXY broke to a new lower low. As it went in for its retrace, the cryptocurrency market capitulated. We got rejected by the 0.786. Now we wait for it to roll over on itself, and this should be the beginning of the cryptocurrency bull run, as we've seen in the past during the fall of the dollar last time. This was the capitulation moment for XRP, right here. This is where XRP found its actual bottom, at the very top of this retrace. We have just completed the top of this retrace, and we just saw capitulation in the cryptocurrency market. That's the first optimistic thing to look at. The second optimistic thing to look at is when we look at the previous market cycle for the XRP Market Cap Chart. We could see that it did find support at the base of wave 4 from this Elliott wave structure. When we look at the Elliott wave structure of current times from 2017, we can see that we are at the base of wave 4 and it has not broken below. Also, with the Bitcoin dominance, we can see that it did retrace up to the level that we expected and it got a hard rejection from that level, indicating that the money is not going to be going into Bitcoin in the coming cycle and is far more likely to be going into the altcoins, with the Bitcoin dominance heading down to 15%. And so that's going to be it for this video, guys. The dollar has completed its retrace. XRP's market cap chart is still holding the base of wave 4, and the Bitcoin dominance got rejected from where we expected it to get rejected. So I know it has been an incredibly rough week for everybody, and it's been an incredibly rough week for the entire world. We are in the midst of a moment that we have never experienced before. This is unprecedented and absolutely insane. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I tried to keep this video really way focused on just kind of talking about the charts, but now we're going to kind of branch out a little bit more in my videos that I'll be releasing later today. So thank you all so much for watching. Please like this video and give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor, but if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.